So at that time many IITs were there, the 14 IITs where this meeting took place. And a question was asked to me, or was, because I was the chairman of IIT. I did my PhD from IIT Delhi in 72. And I was the chairman. And there are many chairmen, chairpersons and directors. So the question to us was that, what should the government do for education, for better education? How India can have better education? So the question was asked, what do we do? Somebody said, okay, we should do this, we should do that. My answer to that was that our education is good. Some people say our school education is not good. Some people criticize our education. But I said our education is good because our students, when they go outside India, when they go to Cambridge, they go to MIT, they go to very good colleges, like go to university, they do very well. Our students do internationally very well. So we cannot say our education is bad. Not by international comparisons, we cannot. At the same time, our students have become great researchers outside. They become great professors. I can give several examples where Carnegie Mellon professor or University, Oxford University professor, he is a student who studied in a village school. So I cannot really condemn our education like that. One. So I said our education is good. But somehow the pattern of our education is completely examination centric. Whole thing is, every time you start admission in your grade school, the parents have to apply for exam, students have to apply for exam, and from that time onwards, exams, and we are continuing exams, and then when you go for the engineering admission, an IIT exam, and then after doing that also for job I have exams. So my whole life is only on exam based, and I have no time to learn. So one thing which will happen is that I have no time to learn the essential concept. There is no concept learning. I know how can I answer the question correctly because I have learned it by heart, and I know the guides are there, and I have learned them by heart, but I have not understood the basic concepts. Right now we are trying to understand some basic concepts. So there is a concept understanding. Second thing is that my labs are there. At that time, when I was studying, there were not even labs. There were not even science labs. I think how we built our science lab. So there were not even science labs. If the science labs are there is nobody to teach. Then if there are teachers, there are no chemicals or there are no therapy. So there are always these problems. So our laboratory is very big. Practical laboratory is very big. And that too, when the exam comes, I copy somebody else's notebook. Suppose that some experiment is given, I just copy it, but I really don't do that. So there is very less emphasis on actually doing something. And so that's why most of the people, when they go to engineering, when they go to anything, they don't know what to do actually. They can answer the questions very well. They can learn by heart very well, but they are not able to do it themselves. For example, I have noticed that people cannot even identify a component, that this is a capacitor. Those who are studying electronics, it is a resistor, this value so much, this is a transistor. So I want to tell you that at this stage that we are playing with electronics, and electronics is very, very important. One of the biggest development of the last century has been development of electronics. You said, when the transistor was invented, when was transistor invented? Anybody can tell you? When was transistor invented? Transistor was invented at Bell Labs when India was almost getting independence at that time. That was the invention of transistor. That simple invention, what you see here, you must have some transistors there, these transistor circuits. That one invention at Bell Lab in the US, United States, started this discipline of electronics. Electronics, what we all see around us, including mobile phones, everything. One invention like that had changed the world. The power of innovation is that one simple invention like this, a junction like this is invented, and that changes the whole world. One can say that before the invention of transistor, the world was like this, and after the invention of transistor, the world became like this. All these wonders of these things is one invention, and after that Nobel Prize was given to those three inventors, and that is important. So what I'm trying to say is that the importance of innovation or one invention is so much it can change the whole world. Similarly, you can look back, the invention of fire, the invention of the wheel. Like that, there are many, many examples of this. This one, paper making, so many examples you can see how that. So what has changed the world? Inventions have changed the world. What has changed the world? Innovation has changed the world. Computer, for example, the invention of computer, the idea of computers, which came during again when India got independence by Alan Turing. The whole idea of computers came out in the architecture of computer players there, but it came out really architecture invention of computers. And then whole world actually computers everywhere. So what is the power of invention? This is the power of invention. You can change the world. You don't require to be somewhere, you don't require to have own a company, or you don't require one invention. If you get some bright idea, and there are many examples of that in recent times, that people have the Facebook had changed inventions, Google had changed the two research students have changed the world completely. So what we realized was at that time, one statement I want to give for you, a very important statement. Bill Gates said, was addressing his all employees, Microsoft, when it was Bill Gates built Microsoft by invention of an operating system for the personal computer, DOS. Today, it is one of the biggest companies of the world. He was just a foreign proper person, and he wrote the operating system. Like some of the young people, they write some software piece. It was not great thing, but that made the biggest company of the world, whose production, whose revenue, whose turnover is bigger than the national production or the GDP or GNP of many countries put together. In fact, 63 countries put together, only one company produces. So that is the power of invention. So one of you, if you create a new invention, some idea, and that becomes successful, suppose it becomes successful by the world standard, can make double our national income. Double. Just one product. And I can give you example within India itself. The software industry which we started, and I must take credit of that software industry, how we started, this one in this country, that when the software industry was zero, we did not know the word information technology. What information technology? When I was building CDAC, supercomputing, so the word information technology started at that time. We came out the idea of software technology parks, as you see in Pune, software technology park. And first was established in Pune, and that idea, and of course, we taught people how to write software. We taught actually people how to write. Within 6 months, you will become a software engineer. This was the idea of CDAC. So with that, today, this industry in our country, $120 billion, in which when we did not know how to write software. So how much power of creating this idea that there should be software industry, that you can write software like this, the Y2K problem can be solved like this, etc., etc., etc. Software, the earth stations can be set up like this. So this has become, then we realized, so the question to us when I was asked that how do we, what we should do? We said that we should start not teaching just by learning and solving examples or by giving answers to the questions which appear in the question papers, but we should actually start doing something by hand in our laboratories. And this is called tinkering. That you build the compound, you start tinkering with it, some big circuits, like some ideas. So this idea of tinkering lab came. The first laboratory was set up in IIT Bombay, long time back, but still it did not become popular. So when the new government came in, we articulated that there should be Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan, RAA, see the policy, Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan. We should be able to create Avishkars, and we said that one of the things which will be required is tinkering labs. But somebody has to support it. Somebody has to support this idea, and then media have to be very important. And they said that we will, it's so important that media doesn't do all these kind of things. Media is like a planning commission. It doesn't have to do all this kind of thing. They want to get it done through some of the IITs or some other projects, etc. But the media have decided that we will do it. It was so important. It must be done under their direct leadership or under their initially. So they said that we will set up tinkering labs, what you have seen around here, one of the labs like this kind of thing, in some good schools. So they said that we said it should not be just government schools, it will also the private schools. This should be government aided schools, also the private schools. So that by now, 2,431, 2,500 labs have been set up in a very short time. So Dr. Undan Pandit is actually leading this whole initiative. There are a small group, very small group, and they decided to take it up. They decided to fund. They decided what should be the how the teachers should be taught, how you should be the classes should be conducted, and such tinkering labs have been set up in the country, and the students are doing some amazing things. You just now told me how students are creating some new things which are earning new patents. So this you can hear from him directly. What you will say that I have seen the creativity of the students. Sometimes what you cannot do in engineering, sometimes you cannot do in your master's thing, the school students have done. We have seen, I've seen many examples of that because it's a creativity. There was some ideas of, so I will try this and I will try that. I will give one example of my own life. This one, I was born in this small village. Its population is 500 in Akola district. Small, this one. That time the population was 300. And then I studied in a school, in a nearby school, Taluk place called Sudapur, and it was Guardian Maharaj school. And of course there were good teachers, but there were no labs. But me and so since my mother was educated, my father was educated, he used to travel everywhere. And we always used to be curious. Whatever we study, there's some experiments. So whatever we see, we can't experiments of optics like lens, prism. I want to actually see a prism. I want to actually see a lens, convex lens, concave lens, this lens like this. I wanted to do some chemistry experiment with the test tube and some chemicals, etc. So we started building these things ourselves in our own home first. And we told father, we said that he is traveling, you are going to Bangalore or you are going to Nagpur. So don't bring any choice. Please bring us prism. Please bring us these lenses. Please bring us some magnets. So he used to bring it. And then we used to see what a joy it was that when we started doing experiments, looking at what we are now doing with these LEDs and all this stuff. Then we decided to bring a laboratory, a physics and chemistry laboratory for our school. And we built physics and chemistry laboratory for our schools, so the other students started playing physics. And it was one of the greatest joy of my life. And we were encouraged to do that, and I think these are the roots of our doing that later on being supercomputers. But this, unless this is learned in school level, this creativity is born at the school level, we will not be able to bring it later on in life. So tinkering labs are so important because you will be now the technologist, scientist or experimentalist or in different fields. It can be physics, this can be chemistry, this can be biology, it can be botany, it can be forest, and most importantly, it can be agriculture. It can be anything. So this idea, kindling our curiosity. What is it? Tinkering is what? Kindling our curiosity. So this happens like this. If a circuit diagram like this can happen. The circuit will be maybe like this, and all this can happen. And then you start understanding what that circuit is actually doing, what the transistor is actually doing, how the current is flowing, what is happening to the whole thing. So this is very, very important. So I attach a lot of importance to what is called tinkering lab, which is great innovation. That's why it is called utter innovation mission. So part of that utter innovation mission, it can be the schools, it can be colleges, it can be engineering colleges, and it can be also in the primary schools. So this is, I consider this is a good thing. And today we are inaugurating, we are celebrating Science Day. Third day. Science Day. Actually, guys, doing something like this. Imagine C.V. Raman built this the Raman experiment, the Raman effect was built like this. We had no money. We very little the things he built in the Institute of Science. This one, the Raman thing was actually invented, and then it became the first Nobel Prize for the Science Nobel Prize for India. So these are the potential of doing that economics. So I congratulate you. I say that I really think that Niti Aayog has taken it and scaled it to 2,500 labs. It's not a small issue. 2,500 labs in short time is a good thing, and actually people are working on, and they are amazed themselves. They are amazed that there are new experiments which you are doing, which are being admired everywhere. So thank you for inviting me on this day, and this brought back my memories in the school days. And I remember one of my greatest joy in my life was when I conducted a transistor radio when I was studying engineering at Nagpur. When I wanted to build a lab, first transistor, those transistors were not available like now, everything is available. At that time, nothing was available. I got it from Bombay, and those transistors and those components, we struggled to build that circuit, radio circuit first, the radio circuit. And when we started really playing Bhushan Bharti station, and my joy, that's why I saved no costs, and I became circuit. But these are the roots of what we did later on. So I wish that we create an innovative country. We are not innovative country right now. We are just focused on examination and parents not only that how many marks he got and which school you are getting admission or where he is getting the job. This we are changing. Today jobs are not going to come tomorrow like that. Tomorrow jobs will come, we will create new things. From that we build new companies or new ideas starting and the jobs will not be available. So it is very important that we have this culture right from the beginning. So even if you don't get jobs, like tradition way, like we got jobs, that job will not be available tomorrow for it. No government job will be available. It's like what people get for. So we have to build some new ideas and compete with the world. Compete with the world, not in Pune or Saru, compete with the world. So the best ideas are to come from us. So this is a good beginning for so tinkering lab, innovation mission, and I think it's a great thing for our education, which is changing the education. If you look at it, for example, this school, here right now, what is why changing the schools? What is paradigm? But we are also about like this, a tinkering lab that has changed the way of thinking of teachers, administrators, examiners, government, that we can actually can do some wonderful things at very young age. So good. Thank you. I'm very happy about the planning with that initiative, and you are carrying yourself now, looking at this and celebrate the Science Day. Thank you very much, society. We have to
We are really thrilled by your motivational lecture. And we would also like to take few questions. Those who are on a live, they can type question in the comment in a very brief manner so that we can have a discussion and interaction with Vijay sir. I would begin with the question which I have thought that I would like to ask. Yes. So can you share your few experimental experience when you have done some tinkering during your school days?
I shared already something on that candle. My first tinkering experience was reading some. See, my grandmother was a teacher, my mother was a teacher, my father also was a teacher, and there was an atmosphere of really learning. Electricity had not come at that time. We should have kerosene lamps and sit around the kerosene lamp and read. Me and my elder brother, so we are almost 2 years elder to me. I just said now. First experience was that we had that curiosity of whatever we are reading, and my grandmother used to insist on me that don't read only textbooks. Whatever the books are available in the library, on that subject, bring them. And then we used to go to the library, there were very few libraries at that time, but some libraries in the colleges were available, and we used to bring those books. And when we have the curiosity that the experiment is seen there, we wanted to build similar. मराठी मध्ये सुद्धा होते आणि नंतर इंग्रजीमध्ये दहावीनंतर त्यामुळे तर we so there is a curiosity to build the same thing. So I want to see magnetic field. What is magnetic field? And we never understand the concept of field. What is a magnetic field? What is field? So we understand, of course, the agricultural fields. But what is the field of a magnet? So we'll put a magnet like this or like also magnet, and we have iron pipes. We put iron pipes around it, and suddenly they will align like this. And then you start understanding concept that there is the North Pole and this is the South Pole and this is a field, this is a field created. Even today, when you go to college, you still don't understand what is a field. So this was first curiosity, this was first tinkering. So how to find and build this kind of things and get some magnets which was obtained from Ambala or somewhere or this kind of thing. So this was one of the second thing was examples of the prism, that how the beam, the light beam, it splits into 7 colors. That we understand, and how rainbow is created, and how this thing is happening. And that used to be amazing because prism you can do so many things. Prism you can see the darkening, or how the reflection occurs, how the refraction occurs, how the, all those kind of things. So each one of them was basically like an amazement for us. So this were our tinkering. Yes.
Sir, one student from Manav Rajana School want to know about supercomputer. So how that will change the entire dynamics in the science and tech?
Yeah. So see, I'm sitting in a city with Pune, which developed the first supercomputer. That's like Pune sort of thing. Here there is a laboratory called Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, which developed the first supercomputer product to be found. But history is like this. India wanted a supercomputer. Supercomputer means super, in the sense of it's a really supercomputer. It is the most powerful computer of that time. Supercomputer is not the absolute definition. Today, what is supercomputer? Tomorrow, it can be a PC, personal computer, small computer. So today, the definition is, at that time, these kind of things, compared to the standard computers which are available, 10,000 times more powerful than that. Or 8,000 times, or now it has become at least 10,000 times than the personal computer. That becomes a supercomputer class machines. We require a supercomputer for one reason, that we oversee the agriculture economy. Most people depend on agriculture, and for agriculture, actually, prediction of rains, monsoons. So when will the rains come? This question is there start from you, that when will the rains come, how much rains will come, and that is not known. And farmers are always in the doubt, in curiosity to learn that. There is a method of weather prediction that is based on mathematical modeling of the weather. There is a mathematical model like differential equation, like algebraic equations or differential equations are given, and they are very coupled and very complex equations. And for solving those equations, we require supercomputer. But supercomputer was not available; it was only available in the United States, and we wanted to buy it from the United States at the cost of about 35 crores, on the lowest one. But the United States was not ready to give it to us, because the United States thought that this is a very strategic technology. Many problems can be solved only on supercomputer. Most countries don't have it, so the United States will be always ahead of us. So they were not ready to give it to us. Then Rajiv Gandhi, at that time the Prime Minister, had gone to the United States, and he requested again and again to Ronald Reagan, who was the President of the United States at that time, that please give us the super. We are not asking it, we are not begging for it. We want to buy it, but we are not giving it to us. And then he was told some answers that we can give it, but it's not used for this, we cannot use for that. And then if you use it for some time, we'll close all the reports, we'll put all the conditions, some conditions, the humidity conditions were put across. And then when Rajiv Gandhi came back to India, he challenged the Indian scientists that why can't we develop our own supercomputer? At that time, I was director of the National Laboratory in Uganda, and then I said that when the question was, can we develop? I said that, very briefly, I said that I have not seen a supercomputer, because the United States is not allowing us. There is no internet at that time, and I said that we can, I can say from enough computers that we can develop a supercomputer. The rest of the story is big, but that's how we started the supercomputer.
But when Bharat Montessori School is also wanted to ask you, what is the age of start initiating the tinkering activity? So, your views on that?
I mean, according to me, and according to the Indian mythology, the Indian history, that you can start tinkering, or you can start learning new things. In the mother's womb itself. But mother is listening to some good things. That's why it's very important that mothers to be are exposed to very good conditions. Unfortunately, in India, the mothers to be sometimes are tormented, not treated well by mother-in-laws, not treated well by husband. But that is the most important time actually you are shaping the child who is coming out, a child who is taking birth. So I say, the mothers womb is the right time.
Yeah.
So mothers should be exposed to these things.
So it's very inspiring. But Vijay Mandir School would also like to know. Recently, the trend of artificial intelligence is emerging. How the tinkering on artificial intelligence can be initiated and how that will benefit to the society?
It's a very good question. Artificial intelligence, that is modeling human intelligence on a machine. Artificial machine is called artificial intelligence. The human intelligence, human has different intelligence capabilities. So can you give me some examples of human intelligence? Can somebody say, what is I say that is intelligent, which one? Some examples of human intelligence. Then I will do some calculations. Some calculations. Mathematics. What is the other example?
Imagination.
Imagination is an example. Game playing. Humans can play games. Can machines play games? Yes, they can. So this is called different aspects of human intelligence can be modeled, understood, and can be replicated on the machines. That is called artificial intelligence. I must say that I wrote the first book on artificial intelligence in India, not outside. Because the world is already written. Me and one German professor called Professor D. Popovich, we felt that he was visiting from Germany, and we felt that we must write a book on artificial intelligence. So I wrote a book, we wrote a book together on methods and tools of applied artificial intelligence, which was published by Marcel Decker, international publisher. And at that time I started reading this question or asking in the book itself, that question that what do you define artificial intelligence? So, human intelligence replicated on a machine. On a machine is called artificially done. But what do you call intelligence? Humans have several capabilities of intelligence. One of them is understanding a language. Language understanding, reading is one, image understanding is one. So many things. Playing games, walking on a path, game finding, path finding, planning. I started writing that. You will get thousands and thousands of capabilities of human intelligence. So I cannot define specifically what is intelligence. If I give examples, I have 10,000 different ways of defining. So defining anything humans can do and if they can be replicated on a machine, then that's called artificial intelligence. Today, artificial intelligence, one big initiative began in the United States, Japan, that they wanted to develop artificial intelligence machines. That's how Japan wanted to beat America by building such computers. And this project was called Fifth Generation Computer Systems. Fifth FGCS. So that project started. The budget allocated to that project was at that time in the 1980s was $1 billion. $1 billion today is 6,000 crores at that time. But that time it means 100 times more. That was the budget allocated to build such a computer. And actually their goal was to beat United States. And what is the goal of that computer? That computer will understand human language. If you speak to them like Siri you see now, then it will understand the human language. This one, and it will reply in human language. If I ask the question, it will also reply in human language. This is a simple capability what a child can have, but to develop this capability on a computer was extremely and still is extremely tough. Now we are building, you can see many examples of that. This one. So this was a big artificial intelligence, and today artificial intelligence has actually very important work. Every machine will have artificial intelligence. Every car will have artificial intelligence. Every mobile will have artificial intelligence. I would say that now please make the lights on and the lights will be on. Like this, you must understand and so on. So this is what. So you must study artificial intelligence now at this stage. Say by 9, 10, you must be very happy that you do something. You give some language command and machine will understand and perform that command.
So here I am really personally very thrilled with this motivation, and I am sure all the students must have a similar experience. And I would like to thank you, sir, on behalf of Atal Innovation Mission and Niti Aayog for such an inspiring and motivational thoughts on the National Science Day. And I'm sure the tinkering lab will benefit to all the students, and they have already started doing the tinkering activities, and many more schools are going to be establishing the tinkering lab in their schools. So they will also feel very motivation after hearing you on this National Science Day. I would like to express my thank you for such a motivational speech on behalf of all the students and the schools who are already watching this live video. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.